Right now, you are looking at someone's face. Maybe it's someone across a table. Maybe it's someone on a screen. Maybe it's a stranger passing you on a street, and they are smiling. And your brain instantly, automatically, without asking your permission, has already decided something about that person. That they are happy, that they are friendly, that they are safe. But here's what the science actually says. That conclusion your brain just made, the one it makes every single day, dozens of times without you ever questioning it, is wrong. More often than not, it is completely, demonstrably wrong. The smile you just saw almost certainly had nothing to do with happiness. And the disturbing part is not that people are hiding things from you. The disturbing part is that you have been reading faces your entire life, and no one ever told you that you are doing it incorrectly. Every human being alive has the same assumption about smiling. Smile equals happy. It is so deeply wired into us that we teach it to children on flashcards. Happy face, smile. Sad face, frowned. The equation feels permanent, obvious, like gravity. Researchers have identified 19 different types of smiles. Of those 19, only 6 occur when a person is genuinely experiencing happiness. Read that again. The other 13 smiles occur when someone is attempting to express or hide an emotion of fear, sympathy, embarrassment, anger, disgust, and more. The smile is not a window into happiness. It is one of the most flexible, multi-purpose, and frequently deceptive signals in the entire human communication system. And we have known this for over 160 years. We just forgot. Paris, France, a neurologist named Guillaume Duchenne is sitting across from an old man in a hospital room. The man has a condition that makes his face largely numb to pain, which is useful, because what Duchenne is about to do would be unbearable for most people. Using people at a psychological hospital as subjects, Duchenne produced various expressions by stimulating facial muscles with an electrical current. He pressed electrical probes directly to the face, firing individual muscles one at a time, mapping every movement. The technique hurt so much, it's been said, that Duchenne performed some of his tests on the severed heads of executed criminals. What he was looking for was simple. He wanted to know, when a person smiles, what exactly is moving? And what he found changed everything. He pointed out that false or even half-hearted smiles involved only muscles of the mouth. But the sweet emotions of the soul, he said, activate the muscle around the eyes. 2 completely different smiles. From the outside, they look almost identical. Your brain cannot tell them apart in real time, but the muscles are entirely different, and only one of them is real. There is a name for the genuine smile now. The Duchenne smile. Here is how you recognize it. Genuine smiles, known as Duchenne smiles, are characterized by the activation of specific facial muscles, including the orbicularis oculi, which engages the eyes, whereas fake smiles typically involve only the zygomatic major, affecting only the mouth. In simple terms, the real smile reaches the eyes. The corners crinkle. The cheeks lift. The lower eyelids push slightly upward. Crow's feet appear at the outer corners. Because the muscle movement in a Duchenne smile is involuntary, it is very difficult to fake. That is the key word. Numb. Involuntary. You cannot command your eye muscles to do what they do in a genuine smile. You can pull your mouth into any shape you want. You can hold it there for hours. But the muscles around your eyes, the ones that activate only when you feel something real, those are not under conscious control. Fake smiles are often asymmetrical and tend only to engage the mouth and not the eyes. Think about every forced photo you have ever taken. The photographer says, "Smile." You smile, and in the photo, something looks slightly off. That is why. The mouth is doing what you told it to. The eyes are just watching. For about 100 years after Duchenne, scientists more or less ignored his findings. Then, in the 1970s, two psychologists at the University of California, Paul Ekman and Wallace Friesen, spent years cataloging the precise muscular coordinates behind thousands of facial expressions. They captured the precise muscular coordinates behind 3,000 facial expressions in their facial action coding system, known as FACS. Ekman and Friesen used their system to resurrect Duchenne's distinction, by that time forgotten, between genuine smiles of enjoyment and other types of smiles. They confirmed it. Real smile, fake smile, different muscles, different meaning. Participants who viewed Duchenne's smiles reported experiencing more pleasure themselves, and the effect correlated with empathy scores. The more empathic the observer, the stronger their response to a genuine smile. Non-Duchenne smiles produced no such effect. In other words, when someone gives you a real smile, your body responds. Something shifts. You feel slightly warmer, slightly more at ease. When someone gives you a performance smile, nothing happens. Your body already knows. It just doesn't tell you in words. A separate line of research examined whether the physical act of Duchenne smiling affects the smiler's own physiology. Participants who held a Duchenne smile during stressful tasks showed lower heart rates during stress recovery than those with neutral expressions, even when they were unaware they were smiling. Stop there. Even when they were unaware they were smiling, their heart rate dropped. The body was responding to its own signal. When the neurologist ID down you, the emotion and the expression were feeding each other, independent of conscious thought. Your face is not just reporting your emotions. It is participating in them, creating them, reinforcing them. This means that the relationship between smiling and happiness is not one way. You do not just smile when you are happy. Smiling, real smiling, the kind that reaches the eyes, can actually generate the feeling it is supposed to be expressing. Wayne State University. Researchers Ernest Abel and Michael Kruger have a strange question. Can a smile in a photograph, taken in a single moment, decades ago, predict how long a person will live? Researchers from Wayne State University studied 230 photographs of US Major League Baseball players who started playing before 1950 and grouped them according to their smiles. The photos were from a 1952 baseball register. Each player was rated no smile, partial smile, mouth only, or full Duchenne smile, eyes and all. Then the researchers looked up when each player died. Those in the no smile category lived for an average of 72.9 years. Those with partial smiles died at age 75, while the full smilers lived significantly longer. The baseball players with a full Duchenne smile lived 7 years longer than those who did not smile in their 1952 baseball card photo. 7 years. From a photograph? From a single muscle movement captured in a fraction of a second 70 years earlier? In any given year, Players with Duchenne smiles in their yearbook photo were only half as likely to die as those who had not. Now, here is the question that follows from that. If a genuine smile is that strongly linked to how long you live, and if most of the smiles you give and receive every day are not genuine, what does that tell you about how you are actually spending your emotional life? We live in a world that has industrialized the fake smile. Customer service, job interviews, family photos, social media, networking events, first dates, performance reviews. Every single one of these situations demands a smile whether you feel one or not. And we have become so skilled at producing them and so accustomed to receiving them that we no longer notice the difference. Smiles serve important functions in systems of human interaction. They reward behavior, inspire social bonding, or exert dominance and subservience. They can be used to deceive, to flirt, to maintain social norms, to signal embarrassment, to cope with pain, and to express rushes of sentiment. This is not a small thing. A smile is not just a facial expression. It is the primary signal humans use to decide, unconsciously, instantly, whether another person is safe, trustworthy, genuinely pleased to see them. And we have built an entire civilization on top of a signal we cannot reliably read. Duchenne, in his 1862 book, wrote one sentence about fake smiles that nobody has ever improved on. Its inertia in smiling, Duchenne wrote, unmasks a false friend. The muscle that doesn't move, the eye that doesn't crinkle, the expression that stops at the mouth. He wrote that in 1862, without cameras, without psychology departments, without social media, just a man with electrical probes and a numb patient and enough patience to map every muscle in the human face, one at a time. He knew what we still have trouble accepting, that the smile you perform and the smile you feel are not the same thing, and that somewhere in the gap between them, between the smile you show the world and the one that escapes when no one is watching, is something close to the truth of who you actually are. The next time someone smiles at you, don't look at the mouth. Look at the eyes.